Sexual Healing, a discussion by incest survivors Maria Socolof and Mary Knight. Maria and I just met for the first time ever in person 2 days ago. We have been friends. We've been friends during most of the pandemic.
Yeah, almost 4 years now.
Oh, has it the whole pandemic?
We've made so much progress, both of us. My journey started when I was 40, essentially when I hurt my neck, but I'm 58 now. So it's been a long journey, but we've come so far. And but there still may be a little piece left. But it doesn't stop our lives right now. Mm-hmm. And before it was completely debilitating to me. I think for Mary too.
We played pickleball today.
Yeah, and that in and of itself says so much, because there were many things I didn't think I'd ever do again.
I didn't ask you this ahead, so it's up to you. But what do you think of talking about sexual healing?
That's fine. Yeah. Because it's something I don't know that I could have not too long ago.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we talked today. I'm happily married. And I'm monogamous. And so is my husband. So that's a safe context for me. And yet there's still some more sexual healing I want to do. I tell more about my sexual healing in my memoir, My Life Now. One of the things that helped me was that I was unable, I got really scared even considering having solo sex, which many people call masturbation. And I actually went to a psychotherapist, a sex therapist, about that. And it was like if I did that, I felt lonely, not like just I hadn't talked to anyone that day, but lonely like I'd been in solitary confinement for 10 years. I mean, it was this dreadful, horrible place of loneliness. And I think, it's empowering to be able to have an orgasm on your own. And my abusers didn't want me empowered in any way. It was really healing that I needed to be able to have solo sex, what I call solo sex. And my husband's not opposed to me doing that. If that's what I need to do, that's fine. In addition to us having sex as a couple. It's sex as a couple that I'm still working on. Well, no, I think it's both. That just getting to that high level of orgasm where I'm totally losing to where I'm totally enjoying it is triggering to me. So I need to do some more work to figure that out.
Yeah. And for me, I'm happily married too I lost track, but many years, 30 something years. And I met my husband when I was 18 in college, and we're still together. And I think for me, he was just a safe person for me. I think he was really my first boyfriend and my only. And I think I found somebody that was safe, and I just, held on to him. But I've still struggled with, and we have 2 kids, and everything's great. Like I said, I didn't remember about the abuse until I was 42. So we had been married a long time already. So the poor guy, all of a sudden, I turned crazy a little bit, at that point in life, but I'm better. But as far as, in the bedroom, as I say, I have, whenever he touches me the way my brother did, I just freeze a lot of times. And I remember after I remembered, he finally said, he's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense now. Because sometimes we'll say, you're just lying there like a log. This was before I remembered. And again, it started to make sense. I would just freeze. And it would take me a long time to get past that. And I would get past it. And I would, could orgasm and get to a good place, but didn't ever want to initiate it. Felt like I could just go without it. But once I did get engaged and got past that barrier of whatever, like somehow I could get past it. But more recently, it was really getting in the way again. And it's gone through phases since I remembered, but kind of in the last several years, I would be in that frozen mode again. And it took some psychotherapy, some parts work of working with my 10-year-old. And essentially the therapist helped me visualize her outside of the bedroom. He's like, she does not belong in the bedroom. And that was huge for me, because I literally do. I do that. I picture her outside now because she was in there. She was in there with me, scared as can be, and so scared of getting touched. So now I send her out, and it's just another world. It's a whole new world. So, it's taken me a long time, because that really was, since I remembered to now, it's been, I don't know, 16 years. And this was just last year that I kind of had this breakthrough. So keep working on it. And there's different phases of the healing, and it can come. So no pun intended.
Yes, that's true. How did your husband deal with all that?
He would get frustrated. I remember telling him what not to do, and what I was okay with, and what not to do. Don't do what my brother did. I can't handle that. So I told him, and he was respectful. But after a while, he kind of started to do it again. I think he was just trying to help me, and see if figuring it was maybe okay now. But it took a long time for me to remind him. I kept saying in my head, I already told him he should know this. He shouldn't do this. I told him that, but I couldn't even speak up. I was sort of in that frozen state. And it took me years, again, to finally realize I need to talk to him. And I'd be in the bedroom in my head saying, just say it, just tell him. It's like, what's the big deal? But I couldn't do it. So I finally realized I'll talk to him outside of the bedroom, have this discussion outside of the bedroom. I think my therapist did suggest that. And it worked. I was like, I could talk to him, not in there, not when I'm in that frozen state. And he was very accommodating, and, okay. It was like no big deal. And here I'm thinking, why didn't I do that for the last many years? But I didn't. And so it's been that's what really turned it around. So then he was fine with it. He just needed to know, he was trying to do the best he could without getting information from me that he needed. So that was what worked for us.
I'm gonna look in my book at what I put for sexual healing, because I was careful and not telling too much about myself and yet covering it. I will say, for me personally, I couldn't have a good sexual relationship with someone unless that person is committed to me. That's and I haven't wanted to heal sexually in a way to where I could have sex outside of a loving, committed relationship. Early in our relationship, I told my husband that it would be better for him not to initiate, that I needed to be the one in control. And we have been married almost 14 years, and he's still doing that. And so now I have to kind of like, I want you to initiate. Like, it was on his birthday one year. It's like, this is something I want for you to initiate. And that's how specific I need to get for him to do it, because he's being very careful, and he considers cuddling making love. If you can't easily afford my book, you can email me and I'll send you a PDF copy. This is my book, My Life Now, Essays by a Child Sex Trafficking Survivor. And Maria also is willing to email you a PDF of her book, and hers is also on audio.
It took me 12 years to write. I started right after, about 2 years into my pain journey, when I started to heal. And I had such a large jump in my healing when I remembered about my childhood trauma, that's when I started writing. I started obsessively writing. I had to tell this story. I had to get the story out of me, because it was so bizarre to me, even when I remembered, to think that I didn't know something for 32 years. healingfromchronicpain@gmail.com is the email address.
Feel free to contact either of us. Thank you, Maria. And yeah, I hadn't talked about sexual healing on a podcast before.